If we allocate Thamesmead as a new town, get the extension from DLR from Beckton to Thamesmead in Thamesmead, that opens up instantly an economic route for those people to use their degrees and use their education to get new jobs and new opportunities, bringing 15,000 homes to the borough, a sustainable future city in terms of a new town, culture, opportunity, history, heritage of the area, from the story of Thamesmead would be absolutely revitalising for the area, but more opportunity for the young people that are just growing up there.
Hello, I'm Toby Fox from 1.5 Million New Homes, the local government challenge sponsored by Redloft and Lovell Partnerships. And I'm visiting a different council every month to find out what works and what needs to change to get more homes built. And this month, quite a cold month, I've come to the Royal Borough of Greenwich. And I'm going to meet the leader, Councillor Anthony Okereke, to find out about the council's ambitions for delivering new homes.
First of all, my name's Anthony Okereke. I'm the leader of the Royal Borough of Greenwich and enjoying it.
And where are we now? This is the town hall. It's very grand.
This is our town hall. There's many town halls modelled after our town hall.
Is that right?
Yeah. You can find this same layout done by the same architects in other areas because people come and see it, people come in, take pictures, and it's a really wonderful place, and it's the Victoria Hall.
And that leads us in nicely to telling us about what makes Greenwich different. What's so special about it?
Greenwich is such a unique place full of wonderful people. The borough with the longest riverfront of any London borough, able to have marine businesses just on the waterfront, building lots of houses, a place where we are tackling mental health, all sorts of issues. Greenwich is just so wonderful in its nature, in the way its people operate, it's culturally diverse, it's rich Nepalese community. I mean, did you see the article about Nepalese food? It's full of just greatness.
And what about the economic drivers here? What's driving the economy?
Well, it's a real mix of things. So obviously there's tourism, there's construction, there is small, medium enterprises. We have our anchor institutions, just like the NHS locally, just like our FE colleges. And so those are the kind of mixtures that we have within our economic development kind of section.
What's the housing need here? What kind of pressures are you trying to respond to?
So look, I think there's a real need for more families. In fact, today we've just gone through our local plan. So we know we need more families. We know we need more affordable homes, both intermediate and social homes, to meet the mix of housing for all demographics. So that is singles, families, and people looking to downsize and elderly living, supported living, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the ambition. We have a 10-year housing regeneration plan, something called, we also have our Housing Our Greenwich, where we're looking at retrofitting and re-looking at existing housing to kind of meet that kind of housing need.
Yeah, and what's your sort of record on delivery? How are you going about house building?
So in the borough, I like to take a really gloves-off approach to getting development done in the borough. So, my door is open to anyone that wants to invest in Greenwich and wants to talk to us about building houses. Because when we build together. Because you're creating in my place, and you're the developer that does it. But actually, we are left with the housing. So I always take an approach that's all about us working collectively together to think about how we build. So we take an open door approach. We build directly ourselves. So we're building 1,750 homes, whereby we have a mix of 750 are social but sustainable homes, whereby people living in them now are receiving energy bills of £30 a month, which is absolutely fantastic. But if you look around the record on London, we have about 4,000 plus homes being built. Greenwich having the highest number of affordable homes being built of any London borough. So what you're seeing is really good stewardship when it comes to development of housing, but that's not enough. We've still got more to do. We still want to do more things. We've just agreed our local plan, literally 15 minutes ago, to go to consultation. And in that sets the ambition of a future of Greenwich, future that takes us to 2050, that starts to articulate where we see the next future of housing, where we see economic development, where we see jobs and growth.
What can you tell us about that vision?
Oh, listen, I think that one of the good things is that I think it's a progressive vision, one that is talking about sustainability, one that is seeking to tackle the climate emergency, one that's trying to make more of our areas more interconnected, that brings sustainable transport, the lobbying that's going on for trying to get the Beckton extension from the DLR extension from Beckton to Thamesmead to Greenwich. And I think it's speaking to like a future whereby we're realizing what connectivity can do. Connectivity that is opening up economic routes, but creating a place where people enjoy, live their lives, and can work all in one place. And that's what we're trying to realize within that vision.
And what's the role of the potential new town within all of that?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, because I was speaking yesterday because we just launched something called our local London vision, which is our sub-regional partnership, and I said Thamesmead and the Thamesmead New Town is going to be fundamental for the people of Thamesmead, because it's doing one thing. Thamesmead as people, the most educated in our borough by virtue of higher education, are the most educated people with degrees in our borough, yet they are the least connected. So if we allocate Thamesmead as a new town, get the extension from DLR from Beckton to Thamesmead in Thamesmead, that opens up instantly an economic route for those people to use their degrees and use their education to get new jobs and new opportunities, bringing 15,000 homes to the borough, a sustainable future city in terms of a new town, culture, opportunity, history, heritage of the area, from the story of Thamesmead would be absolutely revitalizing for the area, but more opportunity for the young people that are just growing up there.
So Thamesmead is one of 12 shortlisted recommended new towns by the New Towns Task Force that Sir Michael Lyons led. But the government doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to build all of those. So what else can you say that would make sure that Thamesmead is one of the schemes that definitely goes forward?
Well, we are lobbying for that at the moment. So if you see the work that I'm doing via working with the GLA, developers and the central government, we've put our own money into working up a business case to get that extension directly delivered. We have a history of that kind of stewardship in the borough. I mean, you saw that with when we lobbied for the Elizabeth line to come to Greenwich, and it did. And we paid for that ourselves alongside other people. We are seeing that same approach with Thamesmead. We know that we have to contribute as a borough ourselves with government funding, but lobbying them hard. I think what's going to be really important is our collective voices speaking to central government about the need. But where else is government going to go? If you don't go to Thamesmead, where do you go in London? Just the other day or last night, there was a BBC News article that came up about where can we build the homes London needs. If London needs homes, it doesn't deliver them without Greenwich. It is through Greenwich, it is through Thamesmead that we are going to be able to create the future of London in this kind of area. One that is sustainable though, right? Because we do need to make places that are going to be long lasting, places that make people thrive and give them new opportunities to turn a new chapter in their life.
So we've had a look at Thamesmead and we've been to Charlton Riverside as well. And those are both, they're challenging projects, right? So what do you need to turn those into houses? What are the challenges you're trying to overcome? Why aren't they already new houses there?
Well, there's a real mix of things. Look, I think, as a borough leader, my approach is partnership working. That's the starting point for all of these things. And those when I came into my leadership, what I did was restart those relationships. Now they've strengthened. We have regular conversations with Homes England, regular conversations with central government about those kind of areas. If you look to our local plan, you'll see the work we're doing that to revitalise the appetite around Charlton and get it kick-started. The same with Thamesmead. We've just allocated and created new 3 urban regeneration frameworks, one covering Woolwich, one covering Abbeywood, and one covering Plumstead. I am bringing the policies in alignment to be able to unlock those areas.
What do those frameworks do? Sorry.
So the urban regeneration frameworks starts to refresh an area like Abbeywood that has seen development growing and starts to begin to articulate a future vision for that place.
Okay, so it's like a master plan.
A master plan, but not a long-winded SPD.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is beginning to articulate to developers and other areas how we're going to work in that area in the future, how it's going to look like. We're all making sure that it's all tapped in and fed into the local plan. So bringing those policies into alignment so that we can begin to speak to it from a policy framework, but with a gloves-off approach from working with them in partnership. And obviously, we know we need in areas like Charlton grant funding because of the remediation work that needs to be taken down there and needs to be done. The transport, in increasing the transport so that we can get the kind of mass housing that we need in places like Thamesmead. So that is all partnership working, but more importantly, there is no replacement funding for that. And the status of a new town will help us bring that to Thamesmead. It will bring us that kind of opportunity to get more funding for an area like that.
So it's a real struggle to get these houses built, is the kind of message I'm getting from visiting the different sites and so on, partly because of the current circumstances, but partly just because of the way that the system works in delivering new homes. I heard Sir Michael Lyons talk last night at an event about what's needed to get those new towns built. And he used the phrase muscular leadership. So do you see the muscular leadership that's needed nationally to help you deliver those your share of those 1.5 million new homes?
I mean, look, I can only speak for myself when it comes to muscular leadership. And I think if you ask about me, I think many will describe it as that.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, look, I have really good relationships with the GLA. When I went to see Sadiq Khan, one of the things he told me on day one was the extension from the DLR from Bexton to Thamesmead is lumber's number one strategic priority for transport infrastructure. And I think there is no other priority other than that in terms of the list of projects for London. That gives me the reassurance and muscular leadership that I need from himself and also central government. I mean, look to Rachel Reeves' last budget. In there, what was the transport infrastructure she spoke about? It was Thamesmead. It was working with local stakeholders, the Mayor of London, to think about a financing approach to make sure we get that transport infrastructure to create that new sustainable green city.
Councillor Okereke, thank you very much indeed for playing your part in getting those 1.5 million new homes built.
My pleasure.
And that's all for this episode of 1.5 Million New Homes, the Local Government Challenge, sponsored by Redloft and Lovell Partnerships. But we are going to be back in just a few days with lots more from Greenwich. So stay tuned by clicking like and subscribing, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Cheers.